wicks. The first wick represents God, Creator, Mind, the all that is, and you can kind of see that it shows the light. And then the second one represents us as spirit, so that as we gather together, we have a greater light, because it just makes everything better. Okay, so John, if you'd like to lead us in a song.
All right. Joy is wonderful. Joy in the morning, joy in the afternoon, joy in the evening, joy again soon. When we are happy, joy is how, joy is wonderful, joy is now. Joy in our homes, joy in our work, joy in relationships, joy at our birth. When we are happy, joy is how, joy is wonderful, joy is now. Joy in accomplishment, joy in getting done, joy in doing well, joy in having fun. When we are happy, joy is how, joy is wonderful, joy is now, joy is now.
Thank you, John. So today we are doing our usual thing that we do in January, where we go through the science of mind, and we use the introduction, the first four chapters of the introductions. Last week we did the thing itself. Today I have the way it works. Yeah, the way it works. John will be doing what it does, and Michael will finish up with how to use it. So that is what's going on with us this month. And it's a great time for us to just get back to basics every time we do this. So, okay. All right. So I'm going to turn it over to John and Michael so they can do our meditation. And thank you.
Healing love, healing love, healing love, divine healing love, beautiful love, beautiful love, beautiful love, beautiful love. Source of life, source of real, source of all, source to heal, graceful love, graceful love, graceful love, graceful love, healing love, healing love, healing love, divine healing love.
So let's get settled in our chair. Just allow ourselves just to be here now. Borrowing the words of Ram Dass. Just be here now. That means that if you're thinking about what happened before we gathered today, just let it go. If you're thinking about what's going to happen or what might happen afterwards, just let it go. Just be here now. Be here now. Be present in your body now. Be in the present moment, right here, right now. And again, take a deep breath in, inhale, and exhale. Release, relax, and just let go. One more time, inhale. And exhale. One more time, inhale. And exhale. So continue to breathe normally and naturally. And know with me that there is only one presence, one power, one life, one activity. There's only one that is everywhere present. It's everywhere powerful, everywhere all-knowing, and everywhere active. And we know that God is right where we are right here and right now. Yes, because we are tabernacles of the Most High Spirit. God lives and moves and has its being in and through us. So today we recognize that within us, and we recognize that within each other. And as I read from Science Mind 365 by Ernest Holmes, let its words be your words today. The affirmative thought is, the spirit in me is perfect. The spirit in me is perfect. Say that with me. The spirit in me is perfect. The spirit in me is perfect. The spirit in me is perfect. From the book of Job in the Jewish Bible, it says, the Spirit of God hath made me, and the breath of the Almighty hath given me life. Dr. Holmes's commentary says that each of us is a spirit, but we don't always recognize this greatest of all truths about ourselves. We do not always consciously invite communion with the Spirit or open all the doorways of our thought with complete acceptance. The Bible tells us to let that mind be in us that was in Jesus, which of course is the mind of God and the invisible guest in every person. So know with me, I know that this invisible guest within me, the angel of God's presence, is counseling me wisely, leading me unerringly, directing my thoughts and actions in harmony and peace and poise, in love and in cooperation. And because God cannot fail, and because the divine presence within me is God as my real self, I know that there is a power that's flowing through my word of faith, which makes straight the way before me. And I know that the great giver of life is giving through me that gift which is gladly made, which returns multiplied, and goes out again to increase its blessing and to multiply its own good as it blesses others. But I know that there is a presence that came with me when I entered this life. And I know the same presence will go with me as I leave this physical form. For it is the presence of eternal life, and that life cannot die. And so I have no fear of the past, the present, or the future, but I am living today as though God really were over all and through all. I feel this presence of life, love, and goodness and experience. Its action as power and certainty. It is with me today, making my life whole and complete. So recognizing that the spirit in me is perfect, I just deny anything unlike that perfection within me. For I just now know in spirit that there is no doubt, there is no fear, there is no lack, there is no limitation, there is only spirit. So knowing that, I just now speak my word and know that that Spirit of God, that Spirit of life comes in and through and as us today in a greater form. I know that as Diana explains our teaching from the Science of Mind text, that I just now know that the way it works is in and through and as us. So we allow ourselves now to use this powerful principle that it acts in and through and as us in our everyday life. For we use it to quiet the troubled seas of our emotion. We use it to quench the fire of hate or anger. We just allow ourselves to be spirit as us, in us, and through us today. So I just give great thanks for us being here today, for Hannah and for John, for Tim, and for Diana and for myself, all being here today in community, because we know that we are one with that presence and power. And as we share that today, we share that to remind ourselves of that. So for this wonderful time that we have today, I just give great thanks, as I know that it is so now. So if you agree with me, please say with me, and so it is.
love, healing love, divine healing love.
Very nice. Thank you, John. Thank you, Michael. And as you open your eyes, please open your camera and just take a moment to look into the camera and look into everybody else's eyes and see spirit that is right there within each and every person. Take a moment to just really see each and everybody's eyes. Okay, there's Tim. All right, get to see his eyes too. All right, so thank you, John. Thank you, Michael, again. So, as I was saying earlier, we're going over the introduction, the four sections of the introduction, and I happen to be talking about the way it works. But before I talk about the way it works, I want to just kind of talk about the thing itself. Now, and I'm just going to use like the last section that is in the last the divine nature in every man that Ernest Holmes wrote in that last part of the chapter. So it says, "This is the thing itself. Briefly, let us recapitulate. There is that within every individual which partakes of the nature of universal wholeness, and in so far as it operates, is God. That is the meaning of the word Emmanuel, the meaning of the word Christ. There is that within us which partakes of the nature of the divine being, and since it partakes of the nature of the divine being, we are divine." Okay, did you hear that? Because um, we are part of the nature of the divine being. It makes us to be divine as well. It reacts to us according to our belief in it, and it is immutable law, subject to the use of the least among us. No respecter of persons. It cannot be bound. Our soul will never change or violate its own nature. All the denying of it will never violate, all of the denying of it will never change it. All the affirming of it will never make it any more than what it is. But since it is what it is and works in the way that it works, it appears to each through his belief. It is done unto each of us as we believe. We will say then that in spirit man is one with God, but what of the great law of the universe? If we are really one with the whole, we must be one with the law of the whole, as well as the one of the spirit of the whole. We try to find something difficult to grasp, then we shall never grasp it, because we shall always think it was being incomprehensible. The mind which we discover within us is the mind that governs everything. This is the thing itself, and we should recognize it in simplicity. So the thing itself is spirit, God, mind, that creative force that is behind everything, everyone, everywhere. Um, the universe, the world, made all the stars, the sun, the moon, the earth, the animals, everything. And because we have been created by this thing itself, we are also like it on a much smaller scale, but we have all the same qualities and aspects of it. So, one of the things that was put in the thing itself reminds us that um, we have to be uh, in a place of belief. Whatever we can conceive of, we can believe it, it will be. And that one other thing that he says is that uh, there is only there, there's only good. There is no evil. There is only good, and you can't have both. So since you can't have both, there's only good, and that is what spirit is. It's good. Therefore, we are good. So the way it works in the individual. Um, there's love and there's law, and both are equal in spiritual principle, spiritual meaning. So the law, of course, there is the love of spirit, the love of God, the love of the the wonderful aspects of spirit. You know, the joy, the peace, the beauty, the power, the wisdom, the love, the light, the life, the abundance, everything that is wonderful, all those aspects, that love part of God is available to each and every one of us. But it also works through the law. Now, what in the world are you saying it is about that being the law? Well, the law are is principles, spiritual principles, just like physical principles that work the same for everybody. Um, there are spiritual principles as well, such as like if you are one of the physical principles is color. So if you take blue and yellow and you mix it together, it becomes green. Or if you take red and blue, it becomes purple. Those colors are the same and they become the same color. They change colors as you mix them together. It's going to be the same for everybody. Now, how much blue you have or how much red you have in it is determined by how what shade of that you put into it to make it either light purple or dark purple or royal purple or um, just a lilac type thing. But that's a principle. That's a physical principle. Colors will change, and certain colors make different other colors. Another thing that's a principle is electricity. Everybody knows what electricity is. We deal with it every day. It's in our house. It's in our homes. It's in our phones. It's around us everywhere. We are very dependent on electricity, but and electricity is just a use that we have. It doesn't matter um, who turns on the switch for the electricity to flow. It will flow as long as there is no problem with that connection. That connection will always go on through just as it should. So if I were to, what I've done in the past when we were at the center, I would have somebody go over and turn off a light off the panel, and then I'd have somebody else go over and turn that light back on, and then do that again and again several times, showing that it doesn't matter who the one is that is um, using this principle, it goes through. Now, just like all the good things that electricity does, it powers, it gives us light, it powers all the equipment, it gives us heat, it gives us, um, there's even electricity in the car because of the batteries. And, the, there is electrical throughout the universe. But if you're not using it for good, or you are unaware of how it works, um, it can electrocute you. Just like if you were hit by lightning, that electrocutes you. It can, or you were put to death by the electric chair. It can kill you. Or you turn on a switch and you're standing in a puddle of water and you did not realize there was a problem with this switch and it can electrocute you. So electricity is a physical principle. Mathematics is a physical principle. So 2 and 2 added together is 4. 2 and 3 is 5. 2 and 4 is 6. That's the basics of mathematics. Does not matter who uses it, it's going to be the same way. Now, if I am trying to keep track of my checkbook, trying to make sure that there's money in my account, and I had put down or thought, or I failed to put down something that I had spent money on, and I used it. For me, I used my debit card all the time, and I forgot about it, and it didn't go through immediately. And then I go to purchase something else, and this $50 that I spent somewhere else now has put my account into out of balance, and then I can have to pay if I don't catch it right away. I'm going to have to pay a late fee. So there is consequences whether I um, know it or not, whether I know the difference or not. Just like the electricity, even if I didn't know that standing in a puddle of water and flipping a switch is not the best thing to do for the electricity, um, it's going to get me. It's going to electrocute me. So these physical principles um, are similar to spiritual principles. And the thing that this is something else that Ernest Holmes says on page 33. He says, "We now know that it is what we are because we could not be anything else, but we could not know how much of this we are." And I was talking about spirit. When we see it as it is, then we shall see ourselves as we are. We can only see it by looking at it through our own eyes. Hence, we shall find a better God when we shall have arrived at a higher standard for man. If God is to interpret himself to man, he must interpret himself through man. And the spirit can make no gift that we do not accept. So if we can't accept the wonderful aspects of spirit in our life, it's going to seem as if God just doesn't work. Prayer, there are certain there are guests, or one person can pray, and one person can. Um, oh Lord, okay, thank you. I didn't realize that my video went away. Okay, thank you, Michael. All right. I must have hit it by accident when I was moving my tape paper. So, anyways, the when we see when we okay when spirit works through us, in us, and as us, and we recognize this, and we have faith in what we want comes about, it happens to you as you believe. Whatever you believe is what happens. So if you believe that you are sick and that you are in pain and that you are hurting all the time and that um, there's just no end to it, then you're going to be in pain and hurting all the time and then wondering why you're sick. Now, that does that mean that there's things that's not that that you can change it? You can change it by your thoughts, yes. And sometimes you still need a doctor to help, or maybe you need a practitioner to help you fix that. But help you with the prayer aspect of it to be able to change your thinking, help you change your thinking. Only you can change your thinking, but they can help. So whether it is the fact that you might not have enough money, if you feel that you're in lack all the time, guess what? If you don't have enough, guess what? You're never going to have enough. You're never going to have enough as long as you believe that. Until you can start feeling that you are more than enough, that you have more than enough, that you always have more to share and to spread and enough to not only um, have, but you also have money to share and to spare, then this will make a difference in your income or how it happens for you. The thing then works for us by working through us and is us always. It cannot work for us in any other way. It spreads itself over the whole universe and shouts at us from the every angle, but it can become power to us only when we recognize that power. He has that in big bold letters. It can become power to us only when we recognize it as it has power. We cannot recognize it while we are believing that it is not. Hence it is written, they entered into they entered not in because of unbelief. Hebrews 4:6. We may enter in because of our belief, but we cannot enter while there is unbelief. Here we come to the house divided against ourselves. If we say we can only experience a little good, then we shall experience but a little good. But if we say with Emerson, there is no great and no small to the soul that maketh all, then we may experience a greater good because we have conceived it. Therefore, our belief sets the limit of our demonstration of the principle itself. It is without limit. It is ready to fill everything because it is infinite. So it is not a question of its willingness nor of its ability. It is entirely a question of our receptivity. So if we want something different in our lives, we have to first believe that something different in our lives is happening. Um, and if we want it to be a certain way, then it will come about. We don't have to know how it's going to come about. Now we can help it along, so if you're looking for employment or something, yeah, then you need to be seeking employment. If you are uh, in need of help with your physical being and or your mental being, then maybe you need to see the doctor. whether it be a psychologist or a psychiatrist, or you need to see a physical doctor to help you along. Um, but that doesn't mean that we have to do it all on our own, but we can make things better by realizing it is already taken care of. It is getting better in every way, in everything that we want. But it starts with our belief. Believe and it will be. And if you can't believe it or if you have doubt in it, guess what? It's not going to be what you expect. If you put your belief in it, generally it becomes even bigger than whatever you expected overall. You may expect that uh, you're going to get this new car. You need this car, but you know that you need this car to be able to get around and to do things, but you may end up getting an even better car than you expected because you already knew that the right and perfect car was there for you, waiting for you, and that so you end up getting a much nicer car than you thought. And that's just physical, but that's the way it works with everything, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. When we realize that what we believe is what is happening to us on some sort of scale, um, like the gardener, like the farmer who puts his seed into the ground. Let's say it is a pumpkin seed. He puts a pumpkin seed in the ground and he is expecting to have pumpkins before too long. So the, the gardener or the farmer does not, after he puts that um, seed in the ground, he does not go ahead and just start giving. He does not go out every day and pull up that seed to see if it's growing, or to take the soil off the top of it to see if it's growing. He does uh, go ahead and nurture it. He tries to make sure it was in the correct sunlight. If it needs to be weeded around it, he'll weed it, make sure it gets enough water. But if he fails to do that, the difference in the pumpkin that he receives is as it grows, yeah, he'll probably still get a pumpkin, but he'll get a little tiny pumpkin. Whereas if he is taking um, care of the soil, taking care of the part of him uh, that is necessary for the pumpkin to grow, then he'll get a bigger pumpkin. He'll get a much bigger pumpkin. Instead of a 5-inch pumpkin, he ends up with a 10-inch pumpkin. Um, just because he just knew that first off, he had the faith that he was going to have a pumpkin. He put that seed in the ground, he placed it in there, he placed it in the soil, said, okay, I believe that I'm going to have a pumpkin. And then he nurtured it in such a way that it wanted to grow. It wanted to grow and get bigger and better through the whole time by making sure that it was plenty of sunlight. It got the weeds were taken out, got plenty of water. Didn't get too much water because that can hurt it too, but got everything that was needed for it to become to be that 10-inch pumpkin. And again, like I said, you still might get that 5-inch pumpkin just by pure accident when you just kind of ignore it. But if you want the bigger pumpkin, then you have to take some time and believe that it's going to be better and also help nurture it along. So then, knowing that this thing that can work for us only is through us, let us begin to accept today more good than we experienced yesterday. and to know that we shall reap a harvest of fulfilled desires. The time must come when we shall have left an apparent evil behind, which it shall be rolled up like a scroll and numbered with the things that we once thought it to be. Let us realize and work with this sound knowledge and perfect faith that as high as we shall make our mark in the mind and spirit, so high shall be its outward manifestation in our material world. So that's what Ernest says. So what we what we can believe is what we receive. What we put our faith and our belief in, that's what we receive. So if we have little faith, we fear lack. If we have a fear and a lack mentality, guess what? We're going to have fear and we're going to have lack. We're not going to have anything. But when we start changing our thinking around and putting some faith in what we expect to happen, I know that this is going to be better than I can even expect, then the way it works, it will be that way. So thank you. And that's all I have. So I now open this up to anybody who may have a question or a comment.
I think that was wonderful. Again, again, to simplify it, again, the thing itself is God, and that again, people put all kinds of there's all kinds of baggage around that word, especially if people have grown up in the traditional, I put that traditional church. But again, the whole idea of this presence and power being all love, all life, all light, all peace, all power, all beauty, all joy. Again, a beneficent energy of love that's always there, that's personal to us. And the way it works is by spiritual principles, as Diana said. So I think the question always comes up, well, if I'm experiencing X in my life, how can I experience better conditions?
Is that
And
formerly
so,
Twitter?
what?
Formerly Twitter?
Yeah, yeah. If ta-da, boom. Thank you, John. Yeah. So if I'm experiencing Twitter, no, if I'm experiencing X, how can I experience better conditions? And how you do that is this. If the $1 million has not shown up yet, maybe what you need to do is to pick an amount that you believe that you can receive that stretches you a little bit. For example, if you're only receiving $20,000 per year, to say I'm now receiving $40,000 or $50,000, a believable amount. Again, I'm going to say something that's probably extremely controversial. Jesus never healed anyone. What do you mean? No, no. What did the master teacher say? It says, it's done unto you as you believe. He went back to his hometown. No one got healed because, again, they thought, well, Jesus being the homebody, the carpenter's son. No, it's done unto us as we believe. And so that's something to take into consideration. So again, what I encourage everyone to do is to put, again, a little more good. If we have 5 people here today, can we start believing for 10 per Sunday? I think that's a doable amount. Can we know that can we enlarge our vision to allow more people to come see us on Sunday? I'm done. Thank you.
Well, I was checking your math, being a former math teacher, and that was correct. And I also happen to wear a purple outfit when we were talking about color. And now I have a song called Creative Energy, which I believe you also referred to.
All right.
I'm in
Sounds
sync. You're right on target here.
good. All right. Well, thank you. You could go ahead and do that song then. Thank you.
All right.
But one more thing. I think that again that we can use these spiritual principles, just like what Diana said. We can use it to either again to assist our lives, or we can use it to like the electricity, we can use it to fry our lives. And again, a lot of that has to do with our mindset. A lot of that has to do with our belief in spirit, God, life, and understanding that that spirit of God is working in us, as us, and through us, no matter what. So, so it would assist us all if we use the spiritual power that we are, the spiritual presence that flows in us, as us, and through us in a productive way that serves not only ourselves, but also mankind. And here's John Miller.
By the way, in that thing about electricity, my mother grabbed a downed power line when she was a kid, and she was getting zapped, and her brothers, I think, pulled her off of it. It was after a rain or something. Don't touch electricity and water at the same time. Amazing things are going on each moment of the day. A mystery unfolding, the universe at play. Infinite possibilities, choices, changes, chance. Multiple realities, a cosmic song and dance. It is wise to look beyond the norm, to see things differently, perceiving what is happening, creative energy. Mystery continues with calm intensity. Ideas, feelings, actions, and willing to be free. Contemplating everything beyond just what we see. Awareness is expressing as creative energy. It is wise to look beyond the norm for true reality. Many realms of happening, creative energy, creative energy.
Thank you, John. That was beautiful. I like that. You haven't done that very often, have you?
Yeah, once in about, what, I don't know, at least once a year.
Yeah. All right. Well,
But
guys.
it was created for Summit Spiritual Center, I don't know, about 10, 15 years ago, maybe.
Okay. All right. Well, that's that. I know I've heard it. I just it was like haven't heard it in a while. But thank you. All right. It is that time in our service where we give everybody the opportunity to give. And there are a couple ways you can give. You can go to Zelle, that's Zelle, and go to Summit. I'm sorry, Summit SSC. It's SSC of Akron at gmail.com. That's SSC of Akron at gmail.com. You can give that way. Or you can send a check with the word Summit on it and to 1199 Lexington Avenue, Akron, Ohio, 44310. But those are the ways to give because we still have, even though we may only be online at the moment, we still have expenses. So uh, I just want you to symbolically take your gift in your hands, right top over left, and just know that all that we have, all that we receive, all that we give is blessed in a very special way. And that it goes forth to the work of Summit Center for Spiritual Living and is returns back to the giver 10 times or more in a very special way. And it allows us to help to heal not only ourselves but the world. So it is. Amen. Okay. I announce. Oh, I'm sorry. More good.
Good and more good is mine, and ever increasing good is mine. Unlimited, infinite good is mine. Wherever I go, I see good. Whatever I do, I feel oh so good. I'm worthy and entitled to good and more good. Good crowds itself upon us, wraps ourselves around us. We give ourselves permission to accept more good, express more good. Oh, good and more good is ours. Ever increasing good is ours. Thank you, Spirit, and so it is.
All right. Thank you. So I'm going to turn it over for announcements, but next week it'll be John speaking, and Tim will be doing the extra music as well. So for next week. All right. Turning it over for announcements.
Well, of course, it's always ntmedia.org. Wonderful things that are going on there. And I'll be doing prayer next week at 10:15 Eastern time. That's 7:15 Tim's time. That's what I'm going to say. Not Pacific time, but Tim's time. So, join us. It really is wonderful. We have people from around the world that pray with us at that time. We have people from South Africa, from Australia, that we all join together at that time to pray. And so it's absolutely wonderful. So it's 15 minutes. So again, if you just join us online, New Thought Media Network, or I do broadcast it on our Facebook page, on our Summit Spiritual Center of Akron Facebook page. So check it out. It's absolutely wonderful. Thank you.
John, any announcements?
Check out my new program, Yes Wise Inspiry.
Inspiry, okay.
Brief inspiring comments of some kind. I'll be doing a little of that today. YesWise.com, that is.
Okay. And Tim, did you have any announcements? No? It's always good to see you, Tim. We love having you. We just wish we could be closer so we could actually physically meet, but that's okay. All right.
Well, we'll fly him.
I'd like to fly to California right now.
Yeah.
Hey, Tim, we all wish we were out there. Believe me, 50-degree weather is a lot nicer than what we're experiencing here.
in the 20s now, and teens tomorrow, or maybe is that today?
It's actually 7. It was 7 degrees. It says that 7 degrees on my computer right now.
Oh, is that right?
Degrees and sun.
Well, my computer is warmer. It says 8 degrees.
Ooh.
Maybe it's because I
And that is not.
Snow come with it?
Did snow come with it?
Yeah.
A little bit.
A little bit.
We
A little
get
bit.
the snow that everybody else got, which is good. There, a lot of other people got a lot more snow, a lot more wind. But we did get some. So, and I think it's because you're at mine saying 7 and you're saying 8 is because you're on the south side, hot side of the house. I'm on the north side of the house, and that's probably different because you're getting a little more sun over there right now.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So with that, let's just have a moment of silence, and I will ring our bell and just bring into mind your anybody who may need some healing, whether it be yourself, a family member, a friend, the world, and just know that whatever is needed is happening right now for the best and highest good of all. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. John? Closing song.
All right, I've simplified this song a little bit here. Let's get my view of everybody out of the way so I can see. There we go. Joy is real. Joy is true. We are joy, living as me and you. Peace is real. Peace is true. We are peace, living as me and you. Love is real. Love is true. We are love, living as me and you. Awareness is real. Awareness is true. We are awareness, living as me and you. Living as me and you.
Thank you, John. And so that ends our service for this week. And again, we invite you to come back next week. Hannah, you can go ahead and finish our